I already see some comments on the official Kevin David page, so I'm gonna try to get people into the right spot. I do it this way, guys, so that I can prioritize all of the full course guys, and girls, because otherwise I just get a million questions on YouTube and everywhere, and I try to answer all of them, right? But I want to prioritize all of you beautiful ninjas. All right. So feel free to ask your questions in the Black Belt group. Until I see any questions there, I'll answer a couple on YouTube. What's up, Rustic? What's up, your boy Jacoby? What's up, Christopher Burris, Randa, Shamay, Rashid, Damon, Thomas, The Shafe, Andrew. People are starting to sign on. Sorry, I know this is during Sunday Night Football, so I'll try to keep this one short for everyone. What's up, Rochelle? What's up, William, Robert, Mandy, Brad? Yeah, this is where I like the questions getting asked, Mandy. I don't know. Is it because like for mobile you can't both watch the video on mobile and also comment on this page? I guess I can just answer questions in the official Kevin David page for a second. Will you do a retreat at some point? I would definitely pay for that. Yo, can you turn the AC on really quick, Jack? Yeah, no, we actually are. We're planning on doing a ninja. No, turn it on. We're planning on doing a ninja meetup in Mexico. So I haven't decided the exact date, but it's sounding like it's going to be January. And we're not going to do kind of like the normal mastermind type thing where, all these other guys are charging you a ton of money to like come and experience these type of things. I'm just going to do like a strictly pass-through type of structure, right, where exactly what I'm paying to set up all of the accommodations in the hotel and all the activities we do. If people want to participate, they can just pay the exact cost, and we'll have just like a fun mastermind where we'll go over a bunch of different things, Amazon related, right? Also, we're going to be talking about not just strictly Amazon stuff. If people want to discuss finances and real estate and all of that stuff, so. Yeah, we're going to do a black belt meetup for all of the ninjas in the family, so stay tuned for that. I promise I will give you guys more information as I start to figure it out, but tentatively it's planned for January in Mexico. I wanted to do it somewhere farther away, but people, people can't always, take work off and do, halfway around the world type things, but I want it to be somewhere tropical, so we're thinking Mexico. Have you ever done a giveaway to collect emails or create a following? Robert, yeah, absolutely. All the time. I think I stress this all the time. As you start to get more and more into the online world, you kind of see how interconnected everything is, right? Like whether it's email lists or building Facebook groups or, building some type of relationship with your customer is so key, right? Like whether or not it's a group on, dogs and you just post like beautiful little dogs or puppies or whatever, right? And then you have a niche related to pet toys or whatever it might be. Creating a communication path with your customers is completely vital because people just have busy lives. They go throughout their lives, they're busy all the time and things like that. And so, it's not that they don't want to buy your products. It's just more so that they're so busy and they've forgotten that it's if they don't know about it, they can't buy it. That's just marketing 101. So the more communication paths you can enter and the more value you can add to people, the better, the better you're going to do with any type of business, whether it's Amazon or any type of business. What's up, Kevin? You handsome motherfucker. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, William. Hola, Kevin. What's up, Charles? Yeah, I'm actually thinking Cancun. Probably not during spring break, but sometime around there. What's up, Steven? Come to the Black Belt group. best way to increase sales via ebooks. So if you're talking about strictly ebooks, I don't do a lot of that, to be honest, but I mean, I have friends. One of the guys that I just interviewed just this past week, Stephen James, he has like 350,000 subscribers on YouTube. You know, he kind of is like the go-to person on YouTube as far as self-help and, you know, a number of different things. Is not strictly related to just online business, and he has a thriving ebook business. So if you guys wanted to, I could probably get him back on, and we could talk about how, you know, he goes about using the Kindle ebook store. I'm sure it shares a lot of similarities, right? Trying to get your ebooks ranking on pages for specific keywords. I would imagine that, you know, there's a lot of similarities to getting products, you know, onto those top pages. Obviously, you wouldn't have giveaways with an ebook, but I'm sure, yeah, Life Mastery, Jordan. Not books, more like a guide. To be honest, Francisco, I haven't ever sold ebooks on the actual Amazon store. Uh, I've sold digital products, obviously, via ClickFunnels and things like that, but, you know, I don't know a ton about the ebook world. It's like specifically for Amazon's platform devoted to it. All right, I'm going to go to YouTube for a second because, wow, there's a ton of comments here. I'm going to go to YouTube for a second because there's no comments yet for the black belt, but I am watching the black belt, so if you guys do have comments, I'll make sure to get to all of them there. Alright, your course gave me everything I needed to launch, and my launch went exactly as planned, but I fear my actual product is not going to stick the landing based on my sales. What do you suggest to offload a possible dead product to cut losses? I mean, there's a couple ways to offload a dead product. I've had to do this before too, right? Where you basically run giveaways to the point where you're ranking for sure onto page 1, right? Using the product launch strategies that we discussed, and then if you are actually on page 1 for your highest volume keyword and you're still not getting sales and you have a few reviews, right? You have your PPC campaigns up and running and things like that, and you're just still not getting sales. You know, there's a couple options. You can try the Facebook ads route, but not every product is fit for Facebook ads. You know, some products just aren't meant for Facebook, right? They don't have the specific narrowers or targeters to be able to, you know, define your audience well enough to actually get, you know, profitable sales. And then, you know, there's just certain products that cater better to a Facebook user, right? Because a Facebook user isn't browsing Facebook to buy toilet paper or commodities or things like that. They're browsing Facebook, and if they see like a drone that like shoots lasers and can like land on water and things like that, then that's like more of a product that they might actually want to buy from Facebook. So you have to think about what catches your eye on Facebook in your feeds. From a product perspective, and then use that same mentality to try to advertise it on Facebook. If you can't advertise it on Facebook, right, there's a couple other last options. In the past, we've donated products and then written it off as charity. We've liquidated products where Amazon buys it at like, I forget what the percentage is, but like a very low percentage of what your actual cost was, like a 10% or 5% of it, just to get a little bit of extra money and kind of move on. And then you can just go the destruction route where you just literally do a destruction order, and Amazon destroys it for a per unit fee. So we've done those 3 paths. We've also sent some products that weren't selling well on Amazon to some of our friends that sell on eBay. So there are companies that kind of will take products that aren't selling well on Amazon, try to sell them on eBay on like basically like a commission basis, where if they get sales, they'll pay you out like 50% or whatever, and if they don't, then there's just no harm done. So those are kind of the options if you do have a product that turns out to be a dud. When creating Facebook ads to drive traffic to merch by Amazon, what kind of ad do you normally create? PPE, website conversion, etc. Daniel, I mean, this is a great question. The answer is there's no difference, right? I don't know if you watched my recent video on Facebook ads, but the methodology is exactly the same, right? If you have a T-shirt with a cat shooting lasers out of its eyes, right? Really adhering to that specific niche of people who like that sort of thing, obviously, and it does sell really, really well. People who are in the course, right, you've seen my video on merch by Amazon to see which T-shirts are selling very well and which aren't, and merch by Amazon is a great opportunity, right, because you don't actually have to buy any inventory. You just literally get money if you get a sale, and if you don't get sales, you don't get money. It's that simple. And so when I'm creating advertisements on Facebook for merch by Amazon, all I'm doing is, you know, we're running PPE, pay per engagement, right? For those of you who don't know that acronym, which basically means we run the ad specifically for getting likes, shares, and comments on the actual ad itself, and that gives you kind of that social proof that is really necessary for any type of ads. So I always recommend getting a little bit of social proof. We do that in third world countries just so we can pay significantly less, right? You can get a cent per like, and once you have like 50, 100 likes on your ad advertisement itself, right, with a few comments, maybe a few shares, it just looks a lot better to the naked eye. People don't want to like something that has never been liked before. If they see that there's already engagement, they're like, okay, this might be interested. If other people are interested in this, then maybe I should be interested, right? I mean, it breaks down to P.T. Barnum. He said, what's the best way to attract a crowd? And the answer is a crowd, right? Because people are interested in what other people are interested in. That's just kind of human nature. So getting PPE, getting some social proof, running traffic campaigns, right? Just straight up traffic campaigns to your landing page. You can use Amazon Associate links or Google Link Shortener or Bitly or whatever, so you can track how many clicks you have to, actually go after your ROI on your Facebook ads to a merch page, right? Because you don't own the HTML, so you can't actually put the pixel in there. But then once you do the traffic campaign, right, you can start to do a conversion campaign for it. And the Facebook actually has a new feature where they will optimize your conversion campaigns for you, but it's actually more expensive to do it this way because Facebook's basically doing the testing for you at your expense, right? So normally conversion campaigns, you already have some data, you already have a defined audience of people who, convert or view your content or add to cart or even purchase, right? And once you have that group of people, you can use Facebook's algorithm to actually, create lookalike audiences, basically, to actually convert better for that specific mentality, right? So if you have 100 people that purchase your product, you can create a conversion campaign on purchasers, and Facebook will match those 100 people, and they'll take all these different data variables, and they'll say, okay, these 100 people share similarities with this other audience, so we're going to show it to this audience because they're most likely to purchase. So it's kind of a long-winded answer, Daniel, but we can talk about this more. I am starting to think about, people have been asking a lot about whether or not I'm going to create a course on Shopify dropshipping and whether or not I'm going to create a course on Facebook ads. I haven't decided yet for sure, but I do what the people want. All right. All right. How would you go about doing charity and including it to your Amazon? It's part of the message I'm trying to build around my brand. So what do you mean by that, Sahira? You mean like disposing of units, or like literally just donating like portions of your profits to charity or something like that? You can answer below, and I'll come back. I didn't know you could have multiple Amazon accounts. Shella, Jordan, and Liz, you guys should come to the Black Belts group because I'm not answering questions in the official Kevin David page, but I'll answer this one. I didn't know you could have multiple Amazon accounts. Yeah, you can. Amazon, so in the full course, I do offer a template where you can send basically this Word document that I created that Amazon will grant you normally a second account that's actually approved. And so you're normally allowed to have 2. Sometimes I've seen 3 actual approved accounts. But, if you want to go into the gray hat, black hat realm, there are ways to create more than 3. Most, 7, 8-figure sellers on Amazon have many accounts, just because you're trying to mitigate the risk of being suspended and having, your entire income stream shut off for an IP claim or some scumbag out there who, filed a copyright on one of your photos and then try to take you down for it. There's a lot of low lives in every entrepreneurial venture, so trying to protect yourself from that is good. All right. I'm thinking of giving portions of my profit to charity. Yeah, you can do this. I mean, I've seen people on their listings that, advertise that as a marketing point that says, 10% of all of our profits goes to XYZ charity, and that charity normally is, in some logical way related to, whatever you're selling. Whether, if you're selling children's products, maybe you're donating to a charity that's for children's hunger or something like that. So if you are going to do that, use it as a marketing point. Obviously, it's really nice for anyone to do that, and just make sure that there's the logical connect between what charity you're donating to and your specific product niche. All right. How many products should you have in one niche before moving on to the next branded niche? Well, I mean that's there's no exact answer to this, Robert. Think about it. Like if you said that to Phil Knight and you'd say, how many products would you want in like the sports niche before you move on to your next brand, right? And he'd say, what are you talking about? Nike has literally tens of thousands of different products in one niche. So really, the answer to that on Amazon is that there is more of a finite limit in specific niches, whether or not you're going after million a month searches or 100,000 or even much smaller, and you're trying to be the real leader in a small niche. Obviously, there is a upper echelon of total searches related to this specific niche. So then every profitable product that has the correct numbers that we like to look at is a product that you'd want to add to your portfolio, right? If you're doing your due diligence correctly, you're saying to yourself, hey, I mean, these people are selling well, right? I can source it for $2 and I can sell it for 15, right? So I have a healthy profit margin. There's enough keyword phrases out there on merchant words and all of the different kind of softwares out there for keywords. And if you're saying to yourself, okay, all of the kind of points are there, then every product that would be profitable based on the due diligence that you're actually doing for that product is a product that you want to add to your specific niche and portfolio in that brand. If a seller adjusts their max order quantity to 1, will it state on the product details page seller only has 1 unit left in stock? No, it won't. Or does it only say that they have max quantity when you go to buy? Yeah, so if you can add it to your cart, right, as long as you only add 1. So if you try to add 2 from the product detail page, it would say, error, this seller only allows like max 1 per buy, or whatever the exact error message is. Wondering because I have a hijacker that's shown as 1 in stock for several days. Yeah, so there's a way that you can manipulate Amazon's system by converting your listing to FBM and then saying that you only have 1 left in stock, and it'll show that, and then every time you get a sale, you convert that sale into Prime. But I don't recommend doing this. It does give a little bit of scarcity, but it can screw up your metrics unless you're really, really on it, right? Because Amazon has very strict timings when it comes to fulfilling and shipping orders if it is FBM. So I don't recommend doing that, Matthew, but I do know people who've had success doing it, but it's just you have to be glued to your computer, and if you ever miss anything, then your account could be in serious jeopardy. When trying to rank for specific keywords, does it rank the keyword if the person clicks on the PPC ad instead of the organic ranking listing? Would it be a double whammy where the ad campaign becomes more efficient and the keyword is also ranked? Or is it best for the people to click on the organic listing? If ads are better, how would AMS ads affect organic keyword ranking as well? This is a really long question, Andres, but I'll try to answer it in order. So if a person clicks on a PPC ad, yes, it absolutely does increase keyword rank for that keyword that they're searching, right? Because if they search garlic press, your ad shows up and they click your ad, Amazon says, okay, this is a relevant ad for this keyword. Let's assign this keyword some rank for this product. Would it be a double whammy where the ad campaign becomes more efficient and the keyword is also ranked, or is it best for the people to click on the organic listing? It's the same if they click on a PPC listing or an organic listing. From a keyword rank perspective, the only difference is you're paying for one click and you're not paying for the other, right? The beauty of Amazon FBA is organic sales. Amazon has such an unbelievably massive loyal customer base. The reason that Amazon FBA is such a beautiful option for a lot of people is that you don't have to do the marketing yourself for a lot of these products. If you're doing your due diligence correctly and you know that there's pre-existing demand and people are searching for these phrases that make your specific product show up, then you don't have to do any marketing yourself, really. You just do the steps to get to page 1, you create a beautiful listing, you get a few reviews, right? Exactly how we talk about in the course. And then the magic of Amazon is that you just get all these organic sales without having to spend any money or any effort on marketing. And then the last question, if ads are better, how would AMS ads affect organic keyword ranking as well? AMS ads are the same thing. If you're running headline ads, you're still running headline ads for a specific key phrase, right? You just show up as a headline ad versus showing up as like a single row horizontal ad in the actual search results themselves. So if somebody clicks on a headline ad for a keyword phrase that you've created a headline ad campaign for, you're still going to be assigned organic keyword rank for that specific headline ad. Do you recommend giving away free ebooks with purchases? Yeah, I have kind of a weird mentality about this, because if you think about it, I think people are too often caught up with ebooks, right? What I mean by that is they think, okay, there's this product, I really want to sell it, right? There's already somebody selling the exact same one, but I'm gonna, bundle mine with an ebook, right? And you have to be really careful there, because bundling with an ebook is not enough to create actual value to a product in most cases, right? You have to think logically about it. You can't just throw an ebook in with anything. Like if you're selling a basketball, nobody wants to read an ebook about, the history of basketball. If you're selling a diet, something related to like a diet pill or like a workout band or something, maybe including an ebook that has, the top 10 exercises for XYZ, or, something that makes sense. It adds some value, but it's not a competitive differentiator. So I don't want people to get confused and say, I can just add an ebook to any of my products and it's going to just make it better than what's already out there, because that's not the case. So don't think that an ebook is enough. Yes, it is a nice bonus if it makes logical sense. Wagwan Kev, for Facebook ads, would you recommend the option of PPM or PPC under traffic campaign? In other words, which would be best to do one over the other? So this is a good question. I kind of want to keep this specific Q&A related to Amazon, Frank. I will eventually do, Facebook ads is a whole nother beast, right? It's incredibly complicated and incredibly profitable, but for this specific AMA or Q&A, I think I'd like to keep it related to Amazon, but you can feel free to message me about that. All right. I know you're going to want to. I know you're not going to want to share this publicly on YouTube, but would you be willing to share some of your techniques for gaining reviews to get social proof for new products, not including family, friends, and closed groups? Yeah, Brad, yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, to be honest, I have, over the period that I've been selling on Amazon FBA, I've met a ton of people, right? And I've met people that run private review groups. I've some of the people have joked around that I call it the grandma mafia, right? Because I have a group of grandmas basically that has this like beautiful kind of like gray market-ish review syndicate, where we've been able to collect very quick reviews, very targeted from a product launch perspective, right? Because as I always say, the best way to rank a specific product is to actually have someone search, right? So let's say you just launched a tripod for your camera, and it's like stainless steel and it's large, and you're kind of going after like the jumbo tripod market. So when you first launch that jumbo tripod, you're going to be like on page 20 of the Amazon search results when somebody searches large tripod, right? But if you have a syndicate of grandmas, or if you have people who are willing to, go the extra step for you, because in the review groups, people don't give a shit. They'll just say, 95% off coupon, give me the link, I'll buy it, and you get a little bit of BSR boost, but you don't get the keyword rank. If you have people who are willing to go the extra mile, like the people in the Black Belt group, right? Like your other Ninja students, I've seen so many people helping each other with reviews and helping each other build that product launch, and I've seen it work so beautifully where people are getting to page 1 so much quicker because we have a group, a Ninja family of people who are willing to kind of go the extra mile. So if somebody's willing to type in large tripod, scroll naturally to page 20 or 10 or whatever page it's on, buy your product. Even if you get one sale in that way, you're going to immediately jump from page 20 to page 10. And if you have a second person go all the way to page 10 after they search for like large tripod, buy your product again, you're going to jump from 10 to 5, and it just goes so much faster. All of a sudden you're on page 1, right? But you do need that group of people who actually like care about you and are willing to do a little bit extra, which is why it's so beautiful having the Black Belt group where we can help each other. Hello, Kevin. Will it be too late to start Amazon FBA next year? I mean, won't it be too saturated? I can't start this year since I have student visa in the U.S. No, absolutely not. It's not going to be saturated. I like to tell people that it will be saturated, so we can have more for us. But realistically, it's just not like that. Amazon is such an unimaginably large beast, right? Jeff Bezos was the richest person in the world. He crossed Bill Gates for a few minutes until earnings and things like that. But it's Amazon is such a huge company. It's almost unimaginable how much money they make, how many jobs they're creating. Right, they're investing $5 billion in a brand new kind of second headquarters. They're expanding into Australia, a bunch of different countries. Right, so it's not going to be saturated anytime soon, or ever potentially until they've conquered the entire world. But they're so far from that. There's going to be so many new markets and opportunities, and there's always constantly needs for new products and new niches as new people's hobbies change, right? Like there's a brand new workout that is gaining popularity and somebody fills that niche. There's a brand new hobby of people like looking at birds or butterflies or whatever. Things change in popular culture, and the people who are watching those trends and shifts and positioning themselves in a way where they can be on the front end of those niches and build kind of a competitive advantage of being the first mover. It's never going to be saturated, Eduardo. So it's a good question. I get it all the time, but Amazon is just so big, it's unimaginable. If you do your due diligence correctly, know how to manipulate the system to your advantage, know how to do proper product research, and do very profitable and succinct and thought out PPC campaigns, you're going to be fine and you're going to make a ton of profit. Hey dude, you're amazing. I'm loving your course. Thank you for your great energy and nice vibe. Hey dude, I have one question to say. We should put our price really high, but if we do that, the Amazon referral fee goes up. So can you please explain a little bit more of that, please? Thank you for the compliments, Jay. And second, yes, so your referral fee is 15% of any price, right? There's restrictions on that for specific categories, like if you have very expensive watches and things like that, Amazon limits the referral fee. But normally, as you raise your price, your referral fee also remains 15%, so you'll pay more relative to that price increase. But if you do it mathematically, right, raising your price will always give you more money, right? Because if you're selling it for $100, they're taking 15% of that, they're taking $15. If you're selling it for $200, they're taking 15% of that, which is $30, but you have a wider margin for your profit margin, Jay. So, the point is to find the sweet spot where, your price is at a level that establishes you as the luxury brand. You're still getting the same momentum of sales as if it was lower, but so your price isn't so high that it's prohibitive, and people are saying, well, they have this other product that's similar. Maybe it's not quite as good, but it's $50 cheaper, so I'm going to go that path. So split testing your price where you can actually kind of go at it from a logical perspective where, you are just finding that perfect little area where you're pricing it, where you're still getting a ton of sales, but you're also maximizing your profit. So you have to kind of split test that and do some data, do some data diving to see what that is. But it's very important to, find that perfect price. And I always say that you want to be the luxury leader, right? You don't ever want to compete on price. You don't want to ever be the cheapest person that's constantly competing with all of these other people to be the cheapest. That's just not what you want to do for the long term, right? There's always going to be people who are out there who are going to be cheaper, or they're going to be shipping from mainland China or something like that. So you want to be the luxury leader, not the price leader. And to answer your question, you just want to find the sweet spot. Can you elaborate on the info you shared in your LLC video about the state that doesn't share info with the IRS? Benefits of that? I'm not thinking if somebody didn't have crazy profits, they could hypothetically not report earnings. Lol. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to answer this question kind of, Michael. Taxes are complicated for most types of businesses, especially online businesses, because now they have the amnesty programs in certain states if you have Nexus there and things like that. I would be willing to bring a tax professional on to a live stream if people wanted to grill him. He'd probably be very scared. I would be scared if I was him. So I can do that. But to answer your question in a simple way, Wyoming and Nevada, how we talk about, right? They have a little bit of protection as far as anonymity. You can use a registered agent service, which basically means that your name is not attached to the LLC. So it's possible, and this has actually happened to me a couple times before. My old companies that I had, some of them, because I've had tens of 20, probably probably more than 20 LLCs in my life because I've had a number of different businesses, a number of different Amazon accounts and things like that. You can actually search someone's name and associate them with that LLC, and then from there you can find information about their seller account. And it's happened to me before with some of my first and older businesses. And you want to keep your information safe. Another advantage of a registered agent service is it makes it a little bit harder for someone to sue you if they wanted to, right? They have to, they have to go after the registered agent. They have to get a subpoena and, to, provide to the registered agent company in whichever state you do choose, and to get the actual information of the account holder. And then it's just harder for them to go about doing things that would make your day worse. So it's very easy to set it up. You can do it from out of the state or out of the country, and it's just one of the ways that I like to kind of save time. Kevin, if asking students from the Black Belt group to do a review of my products, is it bad if same reviewers left reviews on 3 of your products that you launched together? Yeah, it's bad, Hong. I would never ever let the same person review more than 2 of my products, and I'd be very, very meticulous about ensuring that did not happen. And the reason is Amazon is very smart, right? They have a huge issue with people manipulating reviews and things like that, and so you want to be ahead of it, right? You can't just release, like, let's say you're launching a product and you immediately come to the Black Belt group or your friends and family or your grandma mafia or whatever it is, right? And then you say, okay, I need 10 reviews and I'll pay you back on PayPal, right? People do this all the time. It is against terms of service, which I always say, but I'm going to say it again. But if you do that, right, and you get 10 people, your first 10 sales, all 10 people leave you a review, Amazon will immediately red flag that, and they'll shut you down for review manipulation, right? Because no one in the world sells 10 products and gets 10 reviews. That just doesn't happen in the real world, right? Because people are busy, lazy, people just aren't used to leaving reviews. Most people just don't leave reviews. So you have to, if you are going to choose to do that, during your product launch stage where you're running your giveaways, right? So you're selling 20 a day or however many a day, that is when you also want to get your reviews from the Black Belt group, from your friends and family, from your grandma mafia or whatever, right? If you do choose to do that. So make sure that when you are getting your reviews, that for sure you're going to get a review, you're running that at the same time as actually doing your giveaways, just so you get 20 sales a day and only 5 of them leave you a review versus 20 sales and 20 reviews, because that'll get you shut down. There have been a number of articles recently about Amazon cracking down on fake reviews and even removing verified reviews. Do you have any advice on how we can protect ourselves and our reviews from being removed, or worst case, us suspended? Yeah, Andrew, I mean, I literally just answered that question kind of before you even asked it. So that's what I would do. I would make 100% sure that no single person left my seller account more than 2 reviews, right? If I have 10 products, the maximum that they could review is 2. I would make sure that if I was going to do PayPal or friends and family, which is against terms of service, if I was going to go that path, I would make sure to do that specifically when I was also running giveaways, so it would obfuscate the total sales to review ratio. All right. I recently had a competitor post a 1-star review on my product. He was doing it anonymously, but I found his name through the customer ID and traced his name back as the founder of the competing brand. Wow, nice work, Andres. I've done this too, and that's great, right? You can use Spokio, and you can use a number of different services to link emails to names, and if he's stupid enough to actually use his real name or actual seller account to leave you a review, and you can, methodically show that transgression of evidence, I would make a 1-page PDF document, and I would highlight, his name, his company. I'd show how I linked that specific review to it, and then I would nonstop pester seller support until they accepted that, and then they would remove it, right? It's really hard to get product reviews removed, but if you can prove it in a very succinct methodological way, then they will remove it. So good job for finding that. My products will be in Amazon warehouses really soon. I've got about 7 people from my personal FB and 5 more from my dental customers who want to buy from me, and I will not be doing giveaways for them. I will be doing the giveaways for the people from this group. How many giveaways should I do to be able to rank up to page 1? So the answer to this question, role, is different for everyone, right? So let's take an example, and you can rewatch the product launch video because I explain exactly how to do that in module 4, part 2. But basically, if let's say you're selling a dog leash, and there's 5 people on page 1 that all have different sales per day, right? So the guy in number 1 sells 10 per day, the guy in number 2 sells 12 per day, the guy in number 3 sells 20 per day. So you take all of those, you form an average of how many sales page 1 has per day. Let's say the average is 11.2 per day, right? Then you'd want to give away 2 more than that for 7 straight days to guarantee, basically, more or less. There's a couple outside factors, but more or less guarantee that you can get to page 1 by doing that. And yes, it is a lot of giveaways, but it's just kind of the name of the game. And I wouldn't recommend doing that aggressive of a giveaway structure until you had a couple other things in place for your listing. But again, I talk about exactly how to get to page 1, no matter what your product is, exactly how to get to page 1 in module 4. So take a look. My previous question, can I message you later privately, or can you address this in the group publicly? Because there's a growing apprehension about this topic. Wait, what do you mean by that, Brad? Could you clarify lower down? How long before you use your profits to buy a cybernetic voice box? I feel like your organic parts are reaching critical failure in less than my promised 60 minutes. Oh my gosh, I love you guys. Hola, are you an LLC or an S-Corp? I have both. I have single member LLCs and I have S-Corps, Charles. I also have holding companies for a variety of different reasons. But if you start to create a business that has a lot of profits, right, there's just always going to be scumbags out there who want to take what you've built, right? And so establishing a holding company structure where you basically have the stock of your profitable company owned by a shell holding company that has no profits, and so the maximum somebody could sue you and recover for would be the amount of your holding company's profits, which is 0. So it's kind of another way of creating a barrier of protection for you, just to make sure nobody can steal your hard work of what you've kind of created. Kevin, I think I have 2 products I want to launch for PL. Do I need a logo and brand name before I manufacture the items? Should I be brainstorming logo and brand name ideas now? Yeah, I mean, if you want 2 different brands for the 2 products, then you'd probably want to create 2 different seller accounts, or if you want to have just a generic seller name that's like Best Stuff RS or whatever, then you can just create 1 logo and brand name for both. Hi Kev, which banks do you recommend for us that are outside the continental U.S.? I mean, all my banks are inside the continental U.S., so I'm not sure, but I mean, I've heard fine things about HSBC and things like that. Hey Kevin, how's the software development going? Any progress? Yeah, so I don't know if I've told everyone, but I'm releasing software for Amazon. I kind of thought that a few of the software options that were out there were lacking some functionality, and a few of them were overcharging for what they offered. And so I'm creating a software package that's going to be the best available and also the cheapest available. And also, I'm only creating software that I think is absolutely necessary to creating a successful business on Amazon. I think a lot of times people get overwhelmed and they see all these different options and they buy them without actually realizing whether or not they need the software. And so, there's a lot of bloated software packages out there. There's so many people competing for things like Cash Cow Pro and those type of kind of forecasting and analytical software packages that just aren't necessarily applicable to everyone. And so I'm creating the bare essentials. It's going to be the cheapest and not only the cheapest, but definitely the best available for these specific niches that I think are practical and most important. So stay tuned for that. It is underway, Marcus. So I'll be announcing it. Obviously, mainly it's going to be just for my students. I'm not gonna launch them in like a big marketing kind of way. I'm just creating it just to kind of try to save my students money and just create a better option that's a bit more affordable, so that new sellers aren't not able to enter the Amazon FBA space just because of all the expensive software out there. I'm going to create an option for everyone. All right. Granny Mafia. Gosh, you guys have the best gifts in here. I swear, it's like every day that goes by in the black belt group, I swear, like I become like closer and closer to all of you guys. Like it's like an actual family now. If you're trying to rank a keyword like garlic press, is it better to have your friends, family, or mafia lol search for garlic press and purchase, or would it add an additional benefit to add a high converting derivative like garlic press for cooking if that also converts well? Would the long tail phrase make the rank for the word garlic press simultaneously? Yeah, so this is a fantastic question, and I actually don't get this as often as I should. This is a great question, so everyone should pay attention. Put your phone down for a second because this is very important. The answer to this question is take a step back and logically evaluate how many of your sales are attributed to each phrase, right? For the most part, you have a main keyword that 90% of Amazon customers and anyone trying to buy a product are going to type into the Amazon search bar. If I'm going to buy a garlic press, I'm not in the moment thinking, this garlic press is going to be for cooking. Right, I'm a busy person. I just want a garlic press. I'm not thinking about anything else, and I'm just autopilot typing in garlic press. Right, so 90% of your purchases, in most cases, right, each case is a little bit different, but in most cases, there's one main keyword that is going to drive the majority of your sales. If that keyword is just garlic press, then you want to focus on just garlic press. Right, use PPC to get you sales for garlic press for cooking. For organic rank, focus 100% of your effort on ranking the word garlic press itself, right? So have people type in garlic press, scroll to page 20, buy your product, right? And that'll you'll start to rank, right? It'll be more competitive, but if you use the product launch methodologies that we do teach in the course, then you 100% can get to page 1. And once you're on page 1, and you have a few reviews, and you have a beautifully designed listing, and you have a value add to the specific niche, then you're going to get a ton of organic sales, and you're going to make a ton of profit. The difference between being on page 2 and being on page 1 is night and day. You're going to make hundreds of dollars more profit per day being on page 1 versus being on page 2, which is why it's so important to drop everything, focus everything once you've established a beautiful listing with a few reviews, very good pictures, split tested your price and things like that, dropping everything and getting to page 1. That is where the magic happens. People who are willing to sacrifice and do what it takes to get to page 1 are the people who are very successful at Amazon. The people who give up and say, I just couldn't do it, I couldn't make any profit, I wasn't getting any sales, those are the people who didn't try hard enough to get to page 1, and that's just how it is. My previous question, can you address some options for new product launches so that we can have some reviews to start without raising Amazon's ire? Ire, that's a good question, or that's a good word. For example, after one launch, we've largely spent the group as a starter social proof investment. We've largely spent the group as a starter social proof investment. I'm sorry, I'm still not sure what you mean by that, Brad. Could you clarify? Faisal, finally, you managed to attend live. Yeah, I wanted to do one on Sunday, just so people could actually, attend. And some people have work, and Sunday just seemed like a better day to kind of. I'm trying to do them at different times and during different days and things so that everyone can kind of be there. And so I'm sorry if I'm interrupting Sunday Night Football, but hopefully I'm not, because you'll just watch Sunday Night Football instead of watching me. What's up, Shauna? Come over to the Black Belt group, guys. I pinned it as the comment in the official Kevin David page. That's where I'm answering most of the questions in the Black Belt group, so come over. All right. Hey Kevin, do you think branding is essential for a successful Amazon business? For example, good sounding brand name, cool logo, nice packaging. No, I mean it's not essential, but it's just so easy that you should do it, right? Because you'll get a few, organic sales if somebody really likes your customer service or somebody really likes your products, right? They'll start to think maybe like the next time they want to give a gift on Christmas or Valentine's Day or the next holiday, maybe they're in the back of your mind thinking, Slava Incorporated rather than just like a no-name generic product brand where you could never actually build any brand loyalty. So just for the longevity of business, you want to create a a brand name, a beautiful logo, a nice packaging, right? Because it's so easy. All you have to do is, use the graphic designers, use the graphic artists that I share with all of my students, right? You can get a logo for $5 to $20 made, a very nice one. You can get packaging created for, another $10 to $20, and, you can think of a brand name for free. So that's $40 to potentially give you, a number of more sales or, some type of brand loyalty that you wouldn't otherwise have. So yeah, I would always recommend doing it. Is it possible to be successful without it? Yeah, but it's just so easy that you should. If someone just launched in my market and he overtook the entire market because he priced at 1/3 of the entire market, what should I do? I haven't even launched mine yet, but his low price took over the market and became rank 1 in the subcategory. His product is very simple, but mine has design. The cost of goods landed before fees is $7. So if he's able to sell a product profitably for that much lower and he's also prime, then one of a few things is happening. Either he's liquidating his inventory and trying to break even and just getting rid of it, right? Which means that you can come back into the profit or come back into the market, or it means that you and maybe you or other people in that niche are overpaying, right? Because if he's able to sustainably sell at 1/3 of the price, then that means he's either getting it for ridiculously cheaper or he's shipping it from mainland China and it takes 2 months to get there, which means prime is a huge advantage, which means you're going to get most of the sales. So I need to know a little bit more information about that specific question to be able to give you a good answer. But if he's able to do it profitably, then everyone else is overpaying. Or if he's just undercutting everyone, losing money, maybe he's just trying to exit. Can we have Tanner as a guest speaker? Yeah, I'd love to have Tanner as a guest speaker if you guys want. LMAO. Yeah. No, I like Tanner. He reached out to me via email and kind of, wanted to make sure things were cool between he and I have absolutely nothing bad to say about him or anyone else. I'm always a huge fan of everyone who's trying to build their own business and not working for the man, right? He's a great marketer, and he's been able to, sell a lot of his courses to people, and I hope, they're all doing well, and I hope he's doing well. Hey Kev, can we use Photoshop pictures for the main image rather than the standard white backgrounds? What do you mean by Photoshopped pictures, Karan? I'll answer it once you update that. Hey Kev, I need to add a new product that has 4 different color variations. Is it easier to use the Add New Product wizard to create 4 new products for each of the colors, or is it easier to create all with the color variations using the inventory file? I mean, you can do either. It's probably easier to do the inventory file, Ron, but variations are always complicated for people. Again, if you guys want me to make a video on variations and add it to the course, I'd be happy to do that. Somebody just has to, create a poll in the black belt group, and whatever you guys want me to make a video on, whether it's variations or new product launches or product research methodologies outside Jungle Scout and things like that, whatever you guys want me to make a video on, I'm happy to do that. I just need to know what it is. So create a poll in the black belt group. People can vote on it. Whatever has the most votes, I'd be happy to address. In order to bundle items, do you have to send one manufacturer / supplier send to another one, then bundle and send to the freight forwarder, or can the freight forwarder bundle it for you? I mean, freight forwarders have bundling capabilities at the warehouse in the US side. I normally just like to have one manufacturer send it to my main manufacturer. My main manufacturer bundles them, puts them in one box with one UPC, and just makes it completely ready to go. So when it arrives at Amazon in your cartons, it's already done, right? You don't want to have too many logistical areas that could potentially get screwed up, right? So I like to do it at having all in China, and then whenever it leaves China, it's 100% ready to go. Since you went, how was the big fight last month? My gang's still debating if it was real. Yeah, it's probably not real, to be honest. I mean, Conor McGregor's smart. He just wanted a bunch of money, and he got it. There's never a chance that he was going to win, right? Which is why I put a significant amount of money on Floyd to win, even though the odds were -350. I was very sure. I mean, the muscle memory that you build for a lifetime of a sport cannot be overcome by natural talent, especially coming from an entirely different realm of fighting, right? It was never going to happen, which is why I put a bunch of money on it, which is why, thankfully I won. So after we've launched one product and had a lot of reviews from group members, you're saying to not use them again for new products, yeah. So then we launch a second or third product. How do we go about getting a few reviews to get some social proof on these products without drawing Amazon's attention? Oh, okay. So I mean, the way you do this, Brad, if you want to continue using the student group, right? There's almost 1,100 of us now. So just make sure, just keep I always keep a list in Google Drive to follow up with people, right? Because people forget to review or whatever. And so let's say I choose 10 people to review my first product, then I choose a different 10 people to review my second product, a different 10 people to review my third product, and whatever. So just keep a list, and if you do it this way, you can make sure that everyone reviews. You can make sure that you don't, cross-pollinate or get the same people reviewing multiple times, and it's just better in the end. So just keep a little bit closer, a closer eye on it. And there's enough people now in the full course, right? There's almost 1,100 of us that you won't be getting into problems where people are reviewing too many times. That's why we love Kevin. He ain't got no hate. I do. Tanner's a... Oh. Are there any issues with just sourcing from 1688.com and forwarding to Amazon? I mean, the issues with that would be that 1688 sales agents normally only speak Mandarin or Cantonese. So if you speak one of those languages and you're comfortable, in written, Mandarin, then there's no issues, right? There are some one-off cases where you can find somebody who speaks English, but normally it's really bad. Alibaba specifically hires sales managers because they know that for the most part people are sourcing in English. 1688 has cheaper prices because they don't have to pay as many people who speak English and things like that. So I've heard of people hiring Chinese translators from Upwork and things like that to coordinate specifically through 1688. It just depends on what you want to spend your time doing. The seller item is very crappy. Mine costs $7, but his probably costs $3 to $4 based on what I saw in Alibaba. Mine has design, but new seller is plain. Also FBA. Try to differentiate based on design and quality. Yeah, definitely. Like this goes back to what I was just talking about, Hong. I mean, you want to differentiate and become the luxury leader, right? You never want to compete on price. So if you have a more valuable product, whether it's designs or you're fixing some problem that the one-star reviews are highlighting, or you have a better packaging, or you're bundling it with a different item, or maybe you're bundling it and you also offer an ebook, not just an ebook, but maybe you bundle it and an ebook, or some combination of value add, then you can price higher. People associate price with value, right? That's why people pay so much for jewelry, even though you could buy the same thing from AliExpress or something for like $2. People just think if it's more expensive, it's a better gift, and if it's it just has higher value. So don't always think that if you raise your price, your sales will go down, because it's not a parallel. All right. Talk about merch by Amazon. Keith, could you tell me what you want me to talk about specifically related to merch? And also come into the Black Belt group. People are still asking questions on the official Kevin David page. I'm trying to check both, but it makes it so much easier for me if everyone asks questions in the same place. When people get others on Fiverr to create their listings, are those people on Fiverr using all the proper software to find back-end keywords? No, definitely not. I mean, I have a resource that does copywriting and creates the listings in the right way for me. It's not going to be $5, right? It's going to be a little bit more than that, but he's going to do it correctly, and you don't have to second guess yourself, right? If you do it on Fiverr, a lot of times you get what you pay for. I'm not saying that they don't exist, people to do it correctly out there, but yeah. So I've never personally used Fiverr, and I wouldn't personally use Fiverr, but that's not to say that you couldn't find like a hidden gem somewhere that knows exactly how to do all of the very complex methods to create perfect backend keywords, right? Keyword stuffed bullets, a very optimized title and things like that. How about putting a celebrity face on a t-shirt and merch by Amazon? Bad idea. I mean, people own rights to a number of different things, right? I talk about how to do copyright and trademark research on any variety of different topics in merch by Amazon. So if you're interested in that, I could do a video on that, but I do talk about that specifically in the course itself. Oh my gosh, there's so many comments on YouTube. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I'll do a YouTube specific one sometime, but I'm trying to make this one more catered to the actual full course members. So maybe I'll do one for just YouTube, but for today, I'm just going to answer in the black belt course for people who have joined the full course. So I'm sorry I'm not answering all those questions. There's literally like hundreds now, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to focus on the full course. And maybe sometime soon I'll do just like a YouTube specific Q&A for everyone. But I mean, if you do have dire questions and you do want to join the Ninja family, obviously feel free, and then I'll answer your questions much sooner. All right. Oh wow. Okay, so there's a lot of questions. Here we go. Hey dude, when we do our listing, do we use the sample of our product they send us for pictures in the listing and Photoshop it? How I normally do it is I'll have 2 samples sent, right? Whenever I get a sample, I get a fully completed sample where, you know, it's the box is done, the packaging is done, if there's bubble wrap, or it's literally exactly how I intend to sell it on Amazon. I have one of those sent to me, and I have one of those sent to my product photographer, who I do share from time to time. They're based out of New Zealand. They do a fantastic job with lifestyle and everything. I do share that with my full course students from time to time. We don't want to overwhelm them though. But so yeah, I send one sample to myself to check the quality, and then I send one sample to my product photographer, and they take all the photos of it, and then I'm good to go. Do you think you can launch a product solely with FB ads? In my mind, if people can drive traffic to their Shopify only with Facebook ads and are successful, then combining the ads with Amazon would be a total killer, because you'd be getting organic Amazon sales and sales from FB ads, which you can use an affiliate link for your own product, which would basically cut down the referral fee. Yeah, I mean, I do that all the time, Slava. That's a great point, right? We talk about exactly that in the course, how to track return on investment for Facebook ads directly to Amazon listings is very complicated if you don't know how to do it, right? And that's the problem. People don't like not knowing whether or not they're getting sales from their Facebook ads, because if you don't know how to do it, then you can't tell whether or not, you know, I'm spending $50 on Facebook ads and I have no idea whether or not those are actually creating sales for me on Amazon. So, you know, the ninjas have it good because we all know how to actually track, you know, whether a Facebook ad spend is actually getting attributed sales, right? So no, that's a great point by you, and I do that with all of my products, because driving external traffic into Amazon also gives you an additional boost, because Amazon is incentivized to bring people from other websites onto Amazon itself, because they're so good at selling you more things than you think you wanted to buy, and so they give you an additional boost for driving external traffic as well. Photoshop pictures as in have our product photoshopped into a pre-existing photo, or just use photos that don't have a white background in general. No, your hero image or your main image, you want to have a white background. I also don't recommend just photoshopping. Amazon has very sophisticated you know, digital recognition software where they can detect copyright infringement for pre-existing photos. I always recommend actually having brand new photos taken for your specific product, not to use Photoshop. Ninja family, I love my family. Yeah, we love you too, Andrew, and all of your gifts. Gina, during the automatic campaign, do you have merchant keys words plugged into our account? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Gina. Could you maybe rephrase that? I noticed merchant words shortens certain words like wrapping into wrap, for example. Other words are shortened in a way that are not grammatically correct. Is this a problem or benefit? In turn, writewords.org leaves the words as they are. Which one do you prefer, and how's the wordcounter.com word conversion method better? So the word counter is for low bid campaigns, Andres. So let's be clear here. The merchant words just tells you what people type. People don't always type things grammatically correct, and this isn't necessarily misspellings or things like that. People just sometimes don't know how to spell things. Right, like for example, I was helping somebody recently with a turmeric campaign for a supplement, and I don't know how to spell turmeric. Right, I've probably never written that word once in my entire life. So it's very important to recognize that if you have a word that people commonly you know, use in a ungrammatical way, or you know, if they're misspelling it, you want to capture that into your PPC campaigns, right? And so merchant words it's definitely not a detriment. It's a benefit, encompassing all of those different phrases, whether or not it's grammatically correct, whether or not it's spelled correctly. You want to capture it. If people are searching that phrase, you want to appear your ad. You want your ad to appear on that phrase, and so you're going to get those sales. I notice when members ask for reviews by purchasing their product and giving full reimbursement, they never mention the type of product they're selling. Is that normal for practice for secrecy? Yeah, Ro, I mean, I agree. In the Ninja Black Belt group, anyone who's watching, I would love for you guys to be a little bit less secretive. I understand it. I was kind of the same way when I first started, where I thought, if I reveal my master product that everyone's going to copy me and things like that. And, there's a time and a place for that, but I think that the Ninja family is actually so close-knit now that really I don't think people are going to copy you, just to be honest. Not only that, by the time you're getting to the point where you're asking for reviews, it means your product is in an FBA warehouse, which means you have like a 1 to 3 month head start. People aren't going to just go out and drop everything and just try to copy your exact product if you have that significant of a head start. It's the same thing with the case study that I'm doing. I'm giving myself enough of a head start where when I reveal what product I chose for the case study, it'll already kind of be too late for people to copy me. They're more than welcome to. But once you have a head start and you kind of can build that competitive differentiator and the barriers to entry, it's very hard for somebody to come and overtake what you kind of created. Hey Charles, I think I already answered that question about the USA banks. So if you can open a bank in the USA, right? Normally you have to be in the USA to do that. I'm sure there's probably ways to get around that. I've never experienced that personally because I've always lived in the USA. The banks that I use most commonly are Chase, just because they have absurd credit card rewards, right? If you sell on Amazon, you can put your payment method for your advertising campaign as a credit card, and you can just build so many points, on Facebook ads, on Amazon PPC, on all of your products, the 30% down payment I pay with a credit card. So you start to accumulate points so fast that you never have to pay for another flight for the rest of your life. So I recommend Chase. I recommend Schwab. Ally are both two really good online banks. I've used a couple other banks. I closed down my Wells Fargo just because they're so sketch recently, like just leaking everyone's information, creating fake credit cards, and just doing a bunch of sketch stuff. So the main two I use are Schwab now because I also use that for my brokerage account for stocks, but I use Schwab and Chase for the most part now. What profit margin do you look for on your first product? Thanks, Kevin, for all you do. I look for, people ask me this all the time. There's no perfect answer. If an item is selling 100 a day at 30% profit, that's fine, right? And if a product is selling 10 a day at 70% profit, that's fine, right? You wanna not concern yourself as much with profit margin as much as daily profit or monthly profit or whatever the calculation you want to do is for it, right? But I mean, to answer this question in the simplest terms, 50% or higher is a great profit margin to shoot for, right? And if it's close to that, if it's 55, it's 45, it's 43 or something, that's fine. But with all of the little expenses like PPC, storage fees, fulfillment, port fees, customs fees, all that little stuff kind of adds up. And so if you have a 50% margin, for the most part, after kind of doing all of your calculations, it just gives you a little bit more room to, a little bit more wiggle room to profit, even if you ever make mistakes or, you run into any type of unknown little things. I ran an experts roundup of my top 2 competitors, and one of them came back with literally 4 words in their back end. Thoughts? That's interesting. I've never personally seen that, Brad. I think that would be a mistake. Not necessarily a mistake for experts roundup, but it would definitely be a mistake on the listing company themselves if that is true. It could be an error with experts roundup. I've seen a few errors with them before. Experts roundup is actually a service that we're considering creating kind of an easier, better version of for the students, and then offering it for cheaper. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. And if it was an error on Experts Roundup, then I'm sorry. Not every company out there is perfect. But if it was true and they only have 4 words in their back end, they're just not taking advantage of all of the potential indexing that they could have in A9's algorithm for potential longer tail phrases and things like that. So I wouldn't recommend only having 4 words. Hi Kevin, what are the chances of someone copying your ebook and using it on their own product? I mean, that's probably pretty low. That's like as egregious of copyright infringement as you can possibly get. So, have your company name on it, have the little C, have proof that you uploaded it first. And if you ever see it, right, you can get them taken down really quickly on Amazon because it's very easy to tell in, 5 minutes once you get the fulfillment email with your ebook that somebody else is selling that it was yours. Can you make a wall of fame for your top affiliates for your course? I'm curious to know how well people have been doing with it. Yeah, that would be an interesting idea. I'd kind of have to ask people whether or not they wanted that to be public, right? Because there's people out there who've made $30, $40, $50,000 affiliate marketing my course, and I think they'd probably want to keep that private, or I would, right? So they don't get bombarded with questions of how they did it and things like that. But I could ask some of my top affiliates. Right, I opened up a affiliate marketing Facebook group for people who are super interested. If you guys are interested in affiliate marketing, or you've made some money affiliate marketing my course or anyone else's, and you want to join it, feel free. There's 2 guys in there who've made a ton of money affiliate marketing my course, who are very nice and they're willing to answer questions and things like that. So if you want to join that, feel free. And I'll consider the idea about making a wall of fame for top affiliates, Megan. Hey Brad, I got to New York today and got my package. Really impressed with your work. Left a review for you. I know you're absolutely gonna kill it. See, that is some ninja love, Carmen. Thank you. Hey Kev, I created my account on August 24th and Amazon has yet to reply with the result of the review of the docs I sent in. I'm really worried. What can I do? Should I try and create a different account? No, I mean, I've created a bunch of accounts, and I assume you're talking about like the utility bill and like those like stupid requirements they ask for. It took me 2 weeks to get it, and then one time they came back and said that my review had failed and that the documents didn't fulfill the requirements, and I responded like, what are you talking about? I gave you exactly what you wanted, and then literally 2 minutes after my email response they approved my account. So just keep bothering seller performance, Carmen. They will eventually do what they should have done much sooner. So I apologize for the wait, but don't give up on this account quite yet. Get a hold of someone before you do it. Do we plug in merchant words into the automatic campaign? No, Gina, you don't. So your automatic PPC campaigns are pulled directly from your backend keywords for a specific product, and so that's why it's so important to create your backend keywords as related and perfect as you can, right? So I have a video exactly how to create perfect backend keywords in the listing optimization module. So take a look at that if you haven't. With the update of the 250 character limit now, it's a little bit different, and so you want to make sure that you're using all of the space perfectly, right, with the most targeted relevant keywords so that your automatic campaigns are much more profitable. I'm going to take a few more questions, guys. We've been going for a little over an hour now. So let me take like a couple more, and then I gotta go so I can have a vocal cords for tonight. A few vocal cords left. Do you ever recommend raising the price of your products when it comes to Q4 if you're on page 1 or 2, or leaving it the same as your competitors? Yeah, definitely. I have a product that I sell for $19.95 during the year, and then as soon as the Q4 craze starts to hit, I raise it a ridiculous amount. Like there's one point where I was selling a $19.95 profit for a product for $69.95. So more than triple, 3.5 times the price that I normally sell it throughout the year, and it was still selling for the same volume of product. So it was crazy. Like we were just making like an 80% margin or something insane like that. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. All right, a couple more. How many reviews should we get from our Ninja fam? If we just launched our product and we have 1 review so far. I mean, I recommend 3 absolute minimum, right? But I definitely, you want to see more in the 10 to 20 range. I've seen a lot of results as it gets closer to 20. And so, getting in that between 10 and 20, maybe 15 is a sweet spot, Robert, that you want to get to kind of as fast as you can. Speaking of Chase Bank, which I also have, can I still form an LLC from Wyoming? Yeah, you can, Roll, but and people, I want people to make sure that they listen here, right? Because this is a very important point. If you want to use the Wyoming or Nevada hack, right, where there's no state tax and you can have a registered agent to kind of get a little bit more anonymity from your LLC, you can't, if let's say you live in California. If you live in California and you want to create a business checking account at most major banks, you need a California LLC, right? But if you already have a business checking or you're okay with using an online bank, then you can use a Wyoming or Nevada LLC through the resources I give you. So if you need a business checking account, then create an LLC in your own state. It just makes things easier. But if you already have one or you don't care and you want to use an online checking account, then you can create the Wyoming or Nevada LLC, and you'll save a significant amount of money on annual fees, right? Because California, it's like $800 a month, or excuse me, a year for LLC annual fees, where it's zero in Wyoming, and it costs like $100 to create instead of like way more in California. So far your Q&A has been more interesting than the 6-0 Dallas and New York score. Nice. Yeah, I don't watch football very much anymore. I don't really watch sports. I used to watch a lot of sports, but I try to focus a little bit more on my business now and adding value to all of you guys. So I've phased out of sports, but I'll try to keep track of it a little bit more. Do you add negative exact matches on your auto campaigns for words that are in your phrase and exact match campaigns? No, you don't have to, right? Because if you have the exact same bid, right, which could happen if you set your bid prices on your auto campaigns to the exact same thing as they are in your exact and phrase, then it'll say 50-50 and it'll choose one at random, right? You're not going to be competing against yourself. Normally you'll have one lower and one higher, right? And your higher will win. So you don't have to negative exact match. Amazon automatically ensures that you don't compete against yourself for the exact same words. Hi Kevin, what do you know about Amazon Spain? I'm 1 month into product research and I'm not seeing much action. Should I go for multiple products or sell in the US/more EU markets? I don't know anything about specifically the Spanish Amazon market, Anthony, but I know a lot about the American and UK market, which are both, very much so. They're more well known. They have much higher traffic, right? I speak English, so it's a lot easier to type in English for all the product listings and backlink keywords and things like that. But if you speak, completely fluent Spanish and you want to try to enter that market, as long as you see the volume there and you've proven it with, the iTrack 99 cart method and things like that, then I don't think it would be particularly risky. But the volume is significantly lower. But with lower volume, you also have lower competition, which means, as long as you find the sweet spot, then maybe you could make a lot of profit there. But I just don't know a bunch about the Spanish market. Dude, I love what you're doing. You're literally answering all of my questions. Thanks a lot, bro. Really, you're creating something amazing here. Thank you so much, bro. You're welcome, Jay. I try to do Q&As, at least once per week. I'm not reading that next comment, Brad, but that's definitely a consideration to keep track of. All right. Hey Kev, can you talk about influencer marketing for a sec? How often do you use it, and do you use any software for this that you use to find influencers? Yeah, I use influencers mainly for Shopify though. I mean, you can use it for Amazon products as well, but I use Instagram influencers for the most part. It's the most mature market. There's the most options for influencers out there. It's very easy to go about finding them. You don't need any software. I'm trying to keep this a little bit more Amazon specific, but I can if you guys are interested in me making an Instagram influencer video, right? I've used that to generate thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of sales. So it's an extremely viable option if you know how to find the right influencers, right? If you know how to structure your marketing with them in the most advantageous way for you. So if you guys are interested, then I'd be happy to make a video about Instagram influencer marketing. All right. So Kevin, if you already have an LLC in California, can you ever change your LLC to Wyoming? Or are you stuck in California with that LLC for life? No, I mean you can. If you don't pay the annual fees, Sean, then it goes away. It actually stays in the archives unless you pay to have your information removed, though, which I recently found out because I have a super old LLC that has my parents' name on it, and I want to create as much distance as possible for them because they're very private people. And now that a few more people are interested in what I'm doing, I try to keep them as private as possible. And so I have to actually pay to have my LLC archived information, taken off of their kind of, infinite storage. Alrighty, let's do one more question, and then I'm going to take off for the night. So who has the lucky final question? It looks like it is Jason. Merch by Amazon. How do you know what niche to target that sells? I know about 100,000 BSR or less sells a certain amount, but how can you find a niche that is selling with low competition? So the answer to this question is we talk about merch specifically in the bonus modules. If you do get the full course, we talk about it a lot, right? There's very specific ways, very clever ways that we figured out to find the top sellers on Amazon, on Merch by Amazon. So once you find the top sellers, you can do a couple of things. BSR, there's so many different categories and things like that. BSR isn't as finite and data-driven as you want to be when you're investing, right? Merch by Amazon is such a low barrier to entry and such a low investment, though, that it doesn't really matter, right? So take another look at the bonus modules, Jason. We talk about exactly how to find the top sellers anywhere out there on Merch by Amazon. You can look at all of their stores, see all of the different designs they have, look at all the different reviews, right? If you see somebody that's, excuse me, in the top seller, but maybe it only has a few reviews, and you think you could add value to the design in some way, or go after like a sub niche related to it, then those are the people who are making a killing on Merch by Amazon, right? The people who are making a little bit less just kind of put a design out that they like, that doesn't fulfill a specific niche, it doesn't have a very polarizing kind of topic about it, right? The things that sell on Merch by Amazon or t-shirt marketing in general are very polarizing topics, things that make people want to talk and share, and things that people have very strong opinions on certain stuff. That's what they want to represent with their t-shirts, right? That ninja lifestyle, if you guys haven't heard of it. And so that's kind of my thoughts on Merch by Amazon, and we talk about it more in the bonus modules of the full course. So thank you guys all for watching. I know it's a Sunday night, right? So I'm excited that you guys had so many different questions, even during Sunday Night Football. So I will see you guys next time, and I look forward to talking to all of the ninjas in the Black Belt group, and I love you guys, and until next time.